Hello, everybody, live from my Twitch channel. Welcome to a Who the Hell Asked special. It is our, I believe, 4th year doing this?
That is correct. Our 4th year. Man, how time has flown by.
Yeah, this is our 4th annual Best and Worst Games special where we talk about the games that we played in 2023, whether they were in 2023 or not in 2023. And for my list, I don't play a lot of the new games. I don't get around to a lot of the new games. So expect a lot of backlog games, a lot of retro games for me. But Slade here did something special this year for this one.
I decided, for the sake of, the channel, as well as trying to make sure our viewers are informed of games that are currently coming out, to make a list of games that purely compromises of games that came out this year, so that you could get informed opinions about things that are currently coming out. Please do let us know in the comments if that is something you prefer for me to keep doing. Otherwise, next year, I'm probably just going to play whatever the hell I want. But I figured this would be something that'd be nice to do for a change. But
yeah,
without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our anticipated games for 2024.
Yes,
so I'm excited to talk about some stuff.
I'm gonna go first. For my Twitch chat viewers, you may already know what my most anticipated game of 2024 is gonna be. That's right. It's the Plucky Squire. The game made by James Turner, and his studio. Been excited for this game for God knows how long now. This is, I believe, the second year, I think, on our episodes that I've had this as an anticipated game, because it got delayed this year, unfortunately. So
also a game I'm anticipating as well. I'm definitely looking forward to not only playing it, but also seeing you play it live.
Yeah, hell,
whatnot. That's going to be great.
Hell yeah. I will, if this actually does come out next year, I will try to play this as soon as I can. For sure. I want to at least get one new game in this year. And I did get a new AAA game in. I got a couple other new things in this year, but I did get to play a new game. This is my most anticipated game. Slade, what about you? What is your most anticipated game of?
So my single most anticipated game for 2024 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Ooh.
I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's one of my favorite games recently that has come out. So this is a sequel I'm very much looking forward to. I absolutely cannot wait to see how the story evolves and changes from the original Final Fantasy VII experience, especially with all the timeline differences and whatnot, and I just can't wait.
Yeah. Are there any other games you're anticipating, or is it just Final Fantasy VII Remake for you?
So I have a couple of games I'm anticipating. Let's talk about a certain game that I feel like I've been anticipating for so long that I don't even know it's coming out anymore. That is Hollow Knight Silksong. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say at this point I'm starting to lose hope that this game's going to come out within the next, not just within the next year, but pretty much ever.
Yeah.
I think due to the delays and then the radio silence that has lasted years on end has just made me very pessimistic about the future of this game. But I'm going to choose to remain optimistic. I think this is the year it will finally come out, and I really, really want to play it. So Team Cherry, you have so many fans just wanting to throw their money at you. Make it happen. Just make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Slade ever hopeful for the sweet release of Silksong. Any other games, or is that it for you?
Okay, and the final game I'm anticipating, and those who have followed the channel will probably already know this, but Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door remake.
Yep.
I am also very excited for that. Primarily because we're finally getting to see a Paper Mario title, even if it's a remake, made in the original formula of the first two games on a modern console.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important for the success and future of this franchise for this game to do well. I've already shared a lot of my thoughts about that on my Super Mario RPG videos in general.
Yeah.
You can also see those here on the channel. But no, I'm very excited for this. I can't wait to see everything that they've done with the game. We already have like away-facing models for all the like all the party members and whatnot that weren't in the original. So I'm just excited to see what else they've added.
Yeah,
so I can't wait.
Yep. So that's what we're anticipating. But we have our most disappointing / worst games of 2023. But before we actually get into that, Garfield has a quick question for us. Anyone anticipated for Princess Peach Showtime? Huh.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that title is going to be any good. I get the impression that it's half baked, and it's not going to land with its intended audience. I think there's a very real possibility of flops. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Nintendo worked their magic with it and spent some time on it. But for what I have seen so far, I am not impressed, even in the slightest.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be fine. Fine game. And Jay Milton just said, TTYD's his most anticipated game. He just 100% of the original. Oh, interesting. God, 100%ing a Paper Mario game, but God.
Yeah, pretty wild. Getting all those badges and whatnot, actually crazy.
Yeah, but before that, Slade, there is something that is very disappointing. That isn't a game, but it's related to gaming. And for those who have followed the channel over the past year, there's been like 9,000 layoffs in the gaming industry. So that is one of my most disappointing things of 2023 is
let's build up on this too. It's not just disappointing, it's downright sad.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially in a year where I feel like a lot of studios are actually seeing a lot of success.
Absolutely.
Now, I know most of the studios that are doing the laying off have had quite a few, flops and commitments to live service projects that have long since fallen apart.
Yeah, God, we could talk about that for hours.
Even still, there are so many talented people that no longer have jobs just because, these corporate executives and whatnot, they just have to have, their money and their bottom line, even when they're already very successful. And it just makes me very sad.
Yep. So it's the biggest elephant in the room. Well, though there is one layoff that is good for everybody, even though he technically didn't get laid off. Bobby Kotick is finally out of Activision Blizzard King as of yesterday.
Middle fingers up to Bobby Kotick. Screw that guy.
Hell yeah. But that aside, let's get into the actual most disappointing, our least favorite games that we played this year. Slade, I'll let you start it off.
Okay, so to start off, the absolute worst game I have played this year, and I've actually been pretty blessed with my luck so far, Fire Emblem Engage.
Ooh.
So I have a few problems with Engage. Obviously, the lack of creativity when it comes to its story, rehashing the same old dark wizard resurrects evil dragon plot that's been done to death. But they also added a lot of fan service in terms of bringing back the protagonists as well as many of the fan favorite characters as emblems. And they balanced the game and its skills around the concept of these characters. And it's just done in a very half-baked manner to where the game feels honestly imbalanced. And it doesn't even feel like the way you unlock these skills works very well. I won't go into too many specifics, primarily because I want to talk more about how much I love the other games this year. But honestly, Fire Emblem Engage is a very disappointing title. Reminds me a lot of how much I dislike Fire Emblem Fates. And right now, when it comes to making new games anyway, Intelligent Systems' track record with Fire Emblem titles is not good, at the very least. I think the last time I've enjoyed a Fire Emblem title that they have developed was Fire Emblem Awakening, and that was 10 years ago. Because keep in mind, Fire Emblem Three Houses was made by Koei Tecmo. So, overall disappointing. But if this is my worst game of the year, I've honestly been pretty blessed.
Yeah. Yeah, Per. Any other things that disappointed you? Or
Okay,
terrible.
going on to my next theme, because I actually have two dishonorable mentions.
Mhm.
My most disappointing game of the year, not quite the same, because I expected Fire Emblem Engage not to be very good. However, this game I found to be remarkably disappointing, primarily because of the billing it received when it was announced, as well as the potential it could have unlocked. I'm talking about Starfield. So,
This old chestnut.
Starfield is a game that I feel like the community kind of understands what it is at this point, which is a
Yeah.
very underwhelming space RPG that really was on the cusp of something great. But due to lazy reuse game design that they've been using since Skyrim, honestly, and the fact that they also basically recreated the same like mercenary outpost a billion times, and they treated like you're going to a new area every time you found one. Like, it is definitely a very underwhelming experience. I think for me, this game had GOAT potential, but it just completely and utterly fails to live up to it. Honestly, this isn't the worst game I've played this year, but it is the one I feel the most let down by.
Yeah, Ralph in the Twitch chat says, "Ah, yes, Borefield."
Honestly, I feel like it's very accurate.
Yeah, God, it's so funny to me seeing like people hype up Starfield, and then within like a couple months, like goddamn, like the community, even the diehard fans are like, what, huh? This isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
It's just denial. Like, the first 2 weeks of that game coming out, you couldn't say a negative thing about it, or God forbid you're just a hater.
Yeah.
Like, it was terrible. Like, it literally only took me like a day and a half before I'm like, okay, I legit cannot play this anymore.
Yeah, is that the only amount of time that you've played Starfield for?
Yes.
Like
I said, I thought about coming back to it, but from what I've seen, there hasn't been any meaningful updates to address any issues, so I honestly see no reason to give this game any more of my time.
Yeah, oh, and Ralph mentioned this game recently earned the Medal of Dishonor for being so bad fans don't even want to mod it anymore. Yeah, cuz oh god, it was who was it? The maker of like the Skyrim multiplayer mod. He said basically fuck this game essentially.
Yeah, he rage quit making the multiplayer mod for this. Actually, Sag.
God, that's crazy. That's crazy. When people don't want to mod a Bethesda game, which is like some of the most modded games of all time, I would say, up there with like Minecraft and stuff, like, you know it's bad. You know it's really bad for it.
Yeah.
So I have some dishonorable mentions this year. Okay, this one. For those of you that tune into the Byron streams, you will know why I'm going to be mentioning, why I'm going to be mentioning this game. The end is nigh. If you don't know, this game is a precision platform. You know, like Super Meat Boy, like Celeste. It's actually made by Edmund McMullen, same maker of Super Meat Boy. I was kind of enjoying my time with this game. Yeah, it was a bit struggling, but that's precision platformers in a nutshell. But at the end of the game, Slade, there's some things you have to collect. I forgot what they were called in this game, but there's collectibles you have to get because at the end there's a live system. The collectibles turn into lives, which is bullshit for a precision platformer. My God. And I tried. I did, I think, 2 or 3 full runs because I got like 100 like something of the tumors, and there's like 400 to get. But I gave it a couple tries, and I'm like, nah, why'd you put a live system in a precision platformer? That's one of the most atrocious game design things you can do in a precision platformer. There's a reason those specifically don't have lives. Like Super Meat Boy, like Celeste. And I haven't beaten this game. I don't think I will ever beat this game. Oh, Lord. But yeah. Oh, the tumors. Yeah, thank you. The tumors were what they were called. But yeah, like fuck this game, dude. It's got the live system. It's some malarkey right here. But now my other is technically a trilogy because they're in the same series. So
Oh dear.
I love Ape Escape. Ape Escape is a great series. Spoilers, I guess. I'll be talking a little more about this series later on. However, there are 3 games I am nominating for also potential worst games I've played this year. And they are as follows. Ape Academy, Ape Academy 2, and Ape Quest. All 3 of these are kind of like WarioWare, except worse. Because let me tell you the problems with each of them. Ape Academy 1 has some Wii level weirdness to it. Like for one of the minigames, you have to turn your PSP like sideways or whatever. And some of the like micro games aren't great. But I like the format of this better than Ape Academy 2, which is you're playing a damn card game, but the cards are your micro games. And that's weird, but you want to know what's even weirder, Slade? Ape Quest is an RPG.
Oh, wow.
It's an RPG, but you play the micro games as, like, attacks. but there actually are turn-based boss battles, and a couple of the bosses felt bullshit.
These games sound kind of wild.
They are. Check out the VODs for these because on my VODs channel because holy shit, these were some wild experiences. I'm glad as an Ape Escape fan I experienced these, but holy shit, I never want to experience these again. Never again. I experienced them. I somehow beat Ape Quest. Out of the 3, I beat Ape Quest. Ape Quest was the one that I actually beat out of these 3. And I still didn't like the experience, so those 4 are my 4 worst games of the year. Oh. Once is more than enough for all 3 games, Banjo. I agree. Also, hi, Banjo. Oh my god.
Unfortunately, this ape escaped from the clutches of greatness.
God damn. Oh god damn. God damn it, Slade. All right, so now Slade.
But this ape we won't let out of the cage. Let's talk about some honorable mentions.
Yes, these were games that didn't make our top 5 list. We limited it to 5 for our top 5. These games didn't make it. Slade, go ahead with yours.
Okay, so like we stated at the beginning of the video,
Mhm.
A lot of my entire top 5 comprises entirely of brand new games that came out this year. So I do have a couple of honorable mention of games that technically do not fit that criteria. We will start with The Legend of Heroes: Trails from Zero. So
Ooh.
this is a game that was localized this year here in the States. But it's not a game that came out this year. This is a PSP Vita title from all the way back in the early 2010s. It is the sequel series to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky.
Yes.
But it is the prequel to the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. So it goes in between both those series.
Okay.
You take the role as a detective and his police squad, and you pretty much go around solving mysteries and fixing all the problems while playing the great turn-based combat that the Trail series is known for. So, I love this game quite a lot. I decided to disqualify it based off of my criteria for new games. But yeah, for those who don't know, the Legend of Heroes series, the Trail series, is absolutely massive. All the stories are connected, and it is probably the greatest RPG in terms of world building and NPCs ever made. So definitely give this series a look if you haven't already.
Ferris, Ralph said that series is massive.
Yes, it is. So how about you, Byron? Do you have an honorable mention you'd like to share?
I do have an honorable mention. So this one is well, it's one of my multiplayer honorable mentions because I think we're gonna have a similar game later on. This game I've only been able to play it a couple times, but it was really fun. It's Lethal League Blaze. It's kind of like dodgeball plus Pong plus a fighting game. It's it's insane.
I've seen a lot of people play this.
Yeah,
and they all praise it.
It's so good. It's so good. If you can get 3 homies together, you and 3 homies playing, it's a lot of fun. It looks like an acid trip, but it's a really fun one. It's a really fun one. Highly recommend it. Get this one over the original Lethal League. This has a little more content to it. It's more supported. But yeah, this is going to be one of my honorable mentions. Very fun multiplayer game. Highly recommended. Highly recommend. All right, what do you got, Slade? What's one for you?
For my next honorable mention, and this is the best non-2023 title. So to me, this is the best title that I played that didn't come out this year. So Byron and I had the fantastic experience that is also on his YouTube channel that we played together from Mr. Forrest, our probably favorite indie director. We played the original title that he made, A Way Out.
Yeah.
And that was an absolutely fantastic experience. Absolutely love this game. I think it's interesting going from his work being more of a 3D platformer co-op experience to this being more of a traditional third-person shooter.
Yeah.
But this game is absolutely fantastic. Has a very compelling story. I can't recommend his work enough. So if you're on the fence of whether or not maybe a third-person shooter isn't exactly up your alley compared to a platform and whatnot, I promise you, just give it a try. You're going to enjoy it regardless. I think it's just masterclass in terms of design. And everything this man puts out is gold.
Yeah, I guess you stole my thunder a little bit. Yeah, this is I'm gonna put this as an honorable mention. It didn't quite make my top 5, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. I prefer It Takes Two to A Way Out because it is more up my alley. Being a platformer, but this is still a very fun game to experience for sure. All right, but yeah, if you want to check out the A Way Out playthrough, go over to my YouTube channel. Go over to the One Byron YouTube channel. Check it out there, please.
Lit experience.
It's great. Slade's fucking good at darts, apparently.
Good at darts.
Slade is good. Well, since we both had kind of the same honorable mention, you got another one, Slade?
Okay, so I grouped these 2 games together because I want to talk about a specific category of games that I initially struggled with whether or not I wanted to include them in my top 5. And that is remasters and remakes. So these 2 games I decided weren't going to make my cut for top 5, but I did include one, though I left it at the bottom of my top 5 because I want to highlight new games more than anything else. But I feel like this year in particular, remakes and remasters have been very good for the most part, Advance Wars notwithstanding.
Oh, God. Poor Advance Wars.
But I guess I'll just get the first one out of the way. Metroid Prime Remastered is one of the most gorgeous remakes, I think, or remasters that I have ever had the privilege of playing. And with modernized controls for shooters, it is just an absolutely fantastic experience. It's probably the definitive casual way to play this game, hands down.
Ooh, Prime Remastered. Now, okay, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think Nintendo should have done the Shadow Drop, or should they have actually, give it a couple months of, marketing? Because I feel
they definitely should have marketed this. It was a mistake. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that they shadow jumped it because it meant I got to play it immediately, and I loved every second of it. But they definitely relied on word of mouth traveling around this game, as well as like the success of like Metroid Dread to bring up this game's like profile up a bit.
Yeah.
I think if they had advertised this game even slightly, it would be the best-selling Metroid title, like hands down. Like it is actually insane how stunning this remake looks and how it plays compared to the original. This is an all-time remake in my opinion. Like I know like we see a lot of like HD remakes and remasters in this day and age, and not all of them have, you know, a great amount of effort really put into them. It's just a slight upscaling that looks hardly different than the original. Maybe some lighting changes, but like this is legitimately a fantastic remaster. Like this, I honestly cannot heap enough praise on what they did with this game. Like it is honestly a crime that they didn't get this game a chance to top sales charts by actually advertising for it.
Yeah. Alrighty, so for me, another honorable mention. This was the very first game I played this year. It's Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. It's a Kirby game. I heard this was a really good one, and they are not wrong. The people are not wrong. This is a very good one. The ability to combine copy abilities is actually really good. How another Kirby game hasn't done anything like that is beyond me.
It's honestly criminal.
Yeah.
Fun fact, by the way, my favorite Kirby game of all time.
Ooh. But yeah.
Love this Kirby game.
But yeah, this one was a very good one. It's one of the best Kirby experiences. Also, of course, you know, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, one of my top 5 last year. Great game.
Say, Byron, if you haven't got a chance, you should also do the multiplayer mini games sometime. They're honestly good.
The One Byron YouTube channel. Tune into that at some point in 2024. Wink. But yeah, really great game. Really enjoyed it. Was a great way to start off the year, by the way, which, funny enough, I'm starting the year off with another Kirby game on Monday on my streams, Kirby Triple Deluxe. So that's very funny. 2 years in a row. I'm starting the year off with Kirby. But yeah, go play Kirby 64. There's many ways to play it. So go play it. Very fun game. If you like the Kirby games, and you haven't played this one, go play it. Please. It's very fun. I wasn't the biggest fan of the end boss, but you know. It's fine. All right. Another one for you, Slade. Another honorable mention.
Okay, this is my last honorable mention, and this is continuing on the remakes and remasters trend.
Mm-hmm.
The Resident Evil 4 remake is also an absolutely fantastic experience. To absolutely nobody's surprise, I could not leave this out of my list entirely, so it kind of just barely makes the cut as an honorable mention. Was very close to making my top 5, but I think this year was a very stacked year for video games.
Yes.
But let's talk a bit more about the Resident Evil 4 remake. So the original experience kind of took the Resident Evil series in a new direction, kind of abandoning its horror roots to a more action-oriented experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you felt that decision was very poor or a great decision, that didn't matter at the time because this was universally considered as possibly the greatest video game of all time. So even if you didn't think action was like the proper approach for a series that was centered around horror, this game's reach and like honestly how much fun it is to play and how incredible it was had people thinking that maybe action was where the series needed to go. So the remake was very faithful. It was also very, very stunning looking. And I honestly can't heap enough praise. I think, obviously, Capcom has a really good track record with Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes as well. So you knew they were going to do Resident Evil 4 justice. Fear not, for they definitely did the game the justice it deserves.
Resi 4. Can't wait for Resi 5 in like a couple of years. Can't wait for the Resi 5 remake.
I actually kind of hope they don't. Like I said, I'm not too big of a fan of Resi 5. But that's just me personally.
Maybe they could fix it. So I have 2 more honorable mentions. One of them is a game because technically it's not the first time I played it this year, but it is the first time I beat it on stream. So that's why I'm leaving it out of my top 5 to be fair. Ape Escape 2. Very fun game. Love the Ape Escape trilogy. Got very close, like, years ago to beating Ape Escape 2, but never did. But finally did it on stream. I caught all the monkeys. Very fun game. The Ape Escape trilogy, Ape Escape 1, 2, and 3, they are my, like, comfort games. They are, like, games that you will have a good time playing. Well, obviously, unless you don't like the control scheme, which, like, I've been used to it for, like, decades, so your mileage may vary on that, but Ape Escape 2 definitely is an improvement over Ape Escape 1. Very much enjoyed. If you like 3D platformers, you will probably enjoy good old Ape Escape 2. And my final honorable mention is not even a game, Slade. It's a controller. I picked this up just a couple weeks ago, but it has been a game changer for me. This is what I'm holding in my hands right now. This is the 8-Bit Dough Ultimate Controller. You can use it on your Switch. You can use it on your PC. It's got the Hall effect analog stick, so you're not dealing with drift anymore. It's been a pretty great controller to use all around. Highly recommend it. It's the same price as a Switch Pro controller. So there's no reason to get a Switch Pro controller when you can have this, unless you like NFC or HD Rumble, but Nintendo barely uses those features as is. So
look out, guys. Byron's a paid shill now. No, I've actually heard nothing but praise for that controller.
Yeah.
Like
I wish I was sponsored by 8-Bit, but great controller. Highly recommended. I got it for like $20 less on like some sales, so highly recommend. If you need a new controller, look into getting this one. This is the one. But just quick shout out to all the ROM hacks I played this year, because ROM hacks are always great. I don't know if you've ever played any, Slade, but
oh yeah, absolutely. I was playing Super Mario 64 ROM hacks like crazy last year.
Ooh.
Like some ROM hacks are like legitimately very good, and some of them I probably could have done without.
Yeah, because I played a few Mario 64 ROM hacks, and I played a few Banjo-Kazooie ROM hacks this year, so I'll just give a shout out to all of those, because all of them that I played were pretty fun. So, but let's get into it. Let's get into the big one, our 5 games of the year. And Slade, what's your number 5?
All right, number 5 on my list, and this is the remaster that I mentioned during our honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
I ranked it last on this list because I felt like I wanted to highlight newer games, but it had to be on here. Anybody who has watched this channel knows how much I love the original experience, and I would be remiss to not include it. Everybody, Super Mario RPG for the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
What more can I say about this beloved, beautiful reimagining of a Super Nintendo masterpiece? I just loved this game so much. They did an absolutely fantastic job with the added cutscenes, and the combat was every bit as enjoyable as it was in the original, even with the added AoE damage and the special moves. I was legitimately concerned that they made it a lot easier than the original experience, but thankfully that is not the case. It rewards you for playing incredibly well, which is all you could really ask for in a game with like time presses. So again, I cannot praise this game enough. I love it to death. It's one of my all-time favorite games. And this year, it's made my top 5 video games of 2023.
Nice. So number 5 for me, it's technically 2 games in one, but they're packaged as one. Yes, I played this for the first time this year. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, I've heard mixed things about 3D World over the years, but apparently over the years, 3D World has gotten more praise. It deserves all the praise that it gets. It's very fun, course clear style Mario game. Bowser's Fury is it's a very interesting experiment. It's like it's an open world 3D Mario, which is interesting to say the least. I don't know if you've played this, Slade.
Yes, I have had the pleasure of playing this game. I think the thing about 3D World, the reason why it got a lot of disrespect was because at the time, one, it was on the Wii U, and everybody wanted, more like Switch shots on it. But I think the main reason people disliked 3D World was because they felt like the original sandbox formula of 3D Mario had been completely abandoned in favor of linear level design.
Yeah.
And I think after Odyssey had came out and this game got re-released, it allowed fans to appreciate this game for what it was instead of what it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Champions Road, though, by the way. Jesus Christ, the second hardest thing I've ever done in any video game ever. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in the group I played with, we actually second tried it, so.
Well, you had 4 players. You had 4 people. I was just one man.
I mean, true, but I only died the first time. All right. I played pretty well. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. But and
great game though. Great game.
Yeah, and Bowser's Fury is it's an interesting experiment. I'm not the biggest fan of Bowser going into rage mode every so often and some cat shines requiring that. I'm like, come on. Because sometimes it's oh, the only shines you have left are shines that can only be activated when Bowser, and you just basically have to go you just gotta lay back and just be okay, come on, hurry it the fuck up, Bowser, come on.
That or just plan your playthrough for the planned Bowser spawns to make sure you absolutely get those shines. But that would require you to know them beforehand. So during a blind experience, that does suck.
Yeah, which was what my thing there's a decent foundation there for a 3D Mario in that style, and I'm curious to see if Nintendo are going to go forward with that for the next 3D Mario, because there's a very interesting fork in the road they could go. They could continue to do the sandbox Mario, or they could kind of lean more towards Bowser's Fury Mario. So I'm very interested in that. And also Ralph pointed out the 100% requirement for 3D World, where you have to touch the flagpole with every character. That's dumb. It's stupid. That shouldn't be the requirement. I'll get into that with another game on here that is a dumb 100%,
But tell you what, Byron, what's your number 4 game on your list?
What is my number 4? My number 4 might be a little bit unorthodox. It is a genre I love, though. It is rhythm games. And I finally introduced myself to a series I've been wanting to try for a while, Rhythm Heaven Fever. This is the Wii game. I really enjoyed my time with it. Besides fucking struggling on Remix 10 and a couple of the minigames throwing me off for a loop, I really enjoyed this game. I love I will always have at least a decent time with rhythm games, and now this is kind of making me want to play more Rhythm Heaven games. Banger OST. Well, it's a rhythm game. It naturally should, but it's got a great OST. The credits song, absolutely great song. If you like rhythm games, highly recommend Rhythm Heaven Fever. And yeah, I did get a perfect rank on one of the mini games. Yeah. I actually went after a perfect in one of the... I don't normally do that. I think that's a testament to how good some of these mini games are in Rhythm Heaven Fever, that I actually wanted to get a perfect on something. But yeah, my number 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my number 4.
I'm
bit of an
looking forward to seeing what Rhythm Heaven does next for their series.
I now want more Rhythm Heaven. Give me a new Rhythm Heaven, please, on the Switch 2 or whatever in the future. Please. All right, what's your number 4, Slade?
All right, my number 4 game, and we got the combo breaker on the Mario trend, but don't worry, we're coming right back to Mario, guys. My number 4 game is a 2D platformer that came out with a brand new art style. It was a departure from the new games we had been getting. But without further ado, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yep.
So
Mario Wonder.
With the added animations, the level design, including the very acid, trippy Wonder Flower mechanics, I really enjoyed this game. Maybe not quite as much as Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario World, but it is the most fun I had playing a 2D Mario game. in literal decades.
Yeah.
So I think they did an absolutely fantastic job. Again, the enemies being as expressive as they are, as well as everything like that. I just think they did an absolutely fantastic job with this game. There's just a twist or a new idea around every corner, and honestly, you could definitely tell they took so much inspiration from player-made levels and Mario Maker,
Yep.
and I hope that the studio that makes 2D Mario continues to grow, learn, and improve because I just cannot praise this game enough. I love this game, and I really, really hope that we continue to see, the Mario franchise head in a direction such as this.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree with you. You know what? I will talk about Mario Wonder later. Spoilers, I guess, for that. I'll talk about Wonder later. Later on. My number 3 game is Klonoa Door to Phantomile. I played this via the Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series collection on Steam. I very much enjoyed the game. I even beat the bonus level. And I beat it way quicker than I thought, because it's kind of like, I guess we'll get into it later with Wonder. Spoiler, sorry. But Wonder with 3D World, like there's like this it's kind of tough. But I beat it in like under an hour, which is actually kind of crazy. It's one of the first like 2.5D platformers. And it's a shame Bandai Namco have basically abandoned Klonoa, but hopefully more people buy the remake so we can get more Klonoa in the future, because Klonoa is great.
Absolutely.
Love the character
Klonoa
design.
is such a fantastic series,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of sad to see that it's gone by the wayside after all these years, but I think this is also kind of just like, it's just kind of par for the course with a lot of, the 2D and 2.5D platforms, as you so put it, during that era, just because there were so many of them. But yeah, like you said, I hope we see more Klonoa in the future.
Oh, well, okay, one of the first, because Jays did correct me, there was Battletoads. I'm like, I forgot about Battletoads. Yeah. But yeah, go play some Klonoa. Trust me, you'll have some fun with it. All right, Slade, what's next for you?
All right, the third best video game I played in 2023 is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. So this game is pretty fantastic. I really enjoyed the changes they made to the original game with the new mechanics. I think in terms of like the dungeon designs and the underground, they did a really good job adding a lot of content to make the map of Hyrule feel fresh, even if it's still largely the same. I think this is an overall fantastic game, and I also think it has one of the better stories in the Zelda franchise. I think this game is pretty fantastic. I will say the one thing that holds it back from being like my number 1 game is the fact that they reused the original map, and it's largely the same game mechanically as Breath of the Wild. I think that it's great that we revisited it. We got to see a lot of like things change and whatnot. I do not think they could get away with revisiting Hyrule a third time. In this formula, I think they need to build on this and create a new map.
Yeah, and maybe it's just the friend groups the homies I talk to and like the YouTube videos I've watched. I feel like more people are like, Tears of the Kingdom ain't that good.
Because to me, it's still a great game. It's just like, again, I feel like they didn't do themselves any favor by limiting themselves to, Hyrule and whatnot. But I will say this game has unleashed, an ungodly amount of creativity. Pretty much everyone on the internet. I mean, you could build a Gundam, you could build a pickup truck, you could build Godzilla. Like, you could do all sorts of absolutely crazy things. With the build mechanic.
And it doesn't destroy the Switch. How?
Yeah, it's one of the greatest technical marvels of our lifetime. Like, the amount of people that I see that just aren't impressed with it. Like you guys don't understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Like I
it's
am
actually insane. This game isn't absolutely crapping itself every 2 seconds. Like honestly,
yeah. Ralph in my chat said Lego set builders. My time has come. Oh my god! But yeah, like Tears of the Kingdom, Slade's number 3. Thank God. And it's funny. We had a bet. I think like sometime late last year that like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be 7. Slade thought Tears of the Kingdom would be 70. I thought it'd be 60. It turns out it was 70, which is still wild to me that it was 70.
It's one of those things that I absolutely hate being right about.
Yeah.
Because, like, I just knew that Nintendo was going to push the price point with this being such an anticipated sequel, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I will say this, having like in retrospect, even though I think the game's very fantastic and whatnot, I don't think it's worth its $70 billing, but that's just me.
Yeah. Alrighty, my number 2. We talked about this game a little bit earlier. It's Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I really enjoyed this game. The 100% is fucking bullshit a little bit on this one. And look, I am going to spoil something, so mute the stream for like a couple minutes right now. Mute the video if you don't want to hear Mario Wonder spoilers. Fuck that badge level. Jesus Christ. God.
I really enjoyed the badge level. I actually enjoyed having like a legitimate challenge, but I've also lived for that kind of stuff. I understand that's not anywhere like for everybody's experience.
Like, look, and to be quite honest, I'll tell you this. I don't know. Like, I barely. Okay, there was maybe 1 or 2 of the like bonus world levels prior to like the last 2, like the regular special world levels, like that you get from like the worlds themselves. Like, I liked most of those, honestly. But the first final test was a bit annoying, but once you got it, you got it. The badge level is just fucking agony. You know which section I hate the most? Fucking the spring section, dude. I hate the spring foot badge. I hated that.
I thought you'd be tripping about the invisible badge, honestly.
I got to that maybe twice. Ever. So I can't really complain that much.
Wait, did you finish the level?
I did finish the level.
Okay.
Yes, I finished the level. I didn't get the top of the flagpole, which, by the way, Nintendo, stop that, please. Stop that. Don't have that as part of the 100%. Please. But as Slade mentioned earlier, the creativity is off the chart. The wonder effects. For this being the first new, like, 2D Mario game in a decade, it's fine that this is a bit more of a gimmicky 2D Mario game. There's a great foundation there. Animations are great. The world themes are not the same generic themes. They're at least different, which is what we've been asking for, decades, Slade?
Yeah. Ever since the new Super Mario Bros. Series came out, that's for sure.
Yeah. Or at least after NSMB DS. Because, that was the first 2D. The fun fact, it's been the same amount of time from Mario World, 1 or 2 to New Super Mario Bros. DS as it was from New Super Mario Bros. U to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. How crazy is that?
This game was a long time in the making, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they got the time. They got the time to make the game they wanted to make. So, that is my number 2. Very excited for the future of 2D Mario, now that this is back, and it's not exclusively on the back of Mario Maker. Nothing against Mario Maker, but, like, there's a reason that people like 2D Mario, and it's because of the Nintendo-created levels. Because you can get a great level of polish with Mario Maker, but you can't get that official Nintendo polish with Mario Maker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they took inspiration from people's like level choices and designs. They didn't like copy and paste them. I want to iterate that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely is my number 2. It is my game of the year for games that actually came out this year. I will say that right now. Out of the 4 new game things that I played this year. Mario Wonder is obviously the number one 2023 game. One game one-upped it, not by that much. But, yeah, so Slade, what's your number 2?
My number 2 game this year is an RPG that is a sequel to an RPG that came out in 2017 that was pretty fantastic. I think they took a kind of new, interesting spin on the genre overall. And this was very much a continuation of that style of RPG. That is Octopath Traveler 2.
Ooh.
So, Octopath Traveler 2 follows 8 different adventurers in different professions coming together to fulfill each of their individual goals in 8 individually told stories.
Yep.
Honestly, pretty fantastic RPG. It is an improvement on the original in every single way. The music is just as god tier as it was with the original game. I cannot praise this game enough. It is amazing to me that this game has flown under everybody's radars, because to me, this is one of the best RPGs on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I actually don't understand why people don't talk about this game more. It's also one of the very few RPGs you get to play as some grown adults and not like children everywhere. So
Yeah.
This game's just absolutely incredible. Without spoiling anything, they also did a better job integrating the characters and how they interact with each other and how the stories intersect with each other than compared to the original.
Yeah,
where they kind of felt very separate.
Yeah, from everybody that I know that played Octopath Traveler 1, that was like their number one complaint.
Yeah, they did a good job addressing that. I think they still need to go further with it.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is just a fantastic RPG. One of the best RPGs on the Switch.
Yep.
It is worth every penny. Please buy and support this series. I absolutely love this game.
Yeah, and Ralph says, listen to the battle themes. You'll have hype blasting out of your ears.
Like I said, they definitely continued the trend of absolutely amazing music.
Yep.
Alrighty, Byron.
All
I'm
right.
excited to hear this from you. What is your game of the year?
My game of the year for 2023 is not a game that came out this year. It came out actually a decade ago. Funny enough. It is Rayman Legends. That's right. Rayman Legends. A very fun 2D platformer. It's got that incredible UB art style. If you've never seen it, the UB art style, oh, it's so good. It's gorgeous. And Ubisoft used it for 2 games. And they never used it again for whatever reason. A lot of the levels were great. Honestly, most of the what you need to do to 100% the game is relatively easy. Fuck some of those Dark Rayman levels. Because there's a thing called Dark Rayman. It's like, Cosmic Mario from, like, the Galaxy games. But very fun. This game, funny enough, was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, if you didn't know, Slade, but, you know.
I remember the stories where it was a Wii U exclusive turned multi-platform, which, honestly, I'm kind of glad that they did, but unfortunately, that didn't help the game any.
Well, no, it didn't. I don't.
I mean, it helped the game more than it would have. But
it didn't.
There's a reason why we're not getting more Rayman games, unfortunately.
Well, it's because Ubisoft don't fucking care about Rayman, unfortunately.
Well, also sales, but yeah. I love Rayman Legends. It's such a great game. It's so
sad
that we're not getting more Rayman games.
One of my favorite things, the music levels. Oh my god, they're so good. They're so good. The music levels are great. There's pretty cool world themes too. Oh man, this was such a fun thing to finally play. I've been a fake Rayman fan for years because I love the character, but I've never really played the games. But now that I've played one of the games, I want to play more of the games. I plan to play Rayman Origins, Rayman 2, Rayman 3. I'm going to play more Rayman games. Thank you, Rayman. Ubisoft, treat them better or sell them to somebody else. But yeah, that is my... Yeah, don't remind me of what... Rayman apparently is a great arc in Captain Laserhawk Blood Dragon Remix, but... if you've seen the screenshots floating around, it's it's an acid trip. But yeah, that
It
is
is also in this trippy Netflix show.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
yep, that's the show I'm talking about. It's crazy, but Rayman Legends is my game of the year for 2023. Slade, what's yours?
All right, my 2023 video game of the year is a beloved indie title of a RPG in a style that everybody knows that I love from watching the channel. Without further ado, everybody, Sea of Stars.
That's right.
So,
Ooh.
Sea of Stars is a RPG inspired by Super Nintendo classics like Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG, with a fantastic selection of characters. Not really the main characters; they're kind of faceless, but all of the party characters, as well as fantastic music. Some of it composed by the composer of Chrono Trigger, but also most of it being composed by their team. Sea of Stars is a probably thousands of years prequel to a game called The Messenger, which is a Metroidvania. And they took an interesting approach making this a turn-based RPG that plays just like Super Mario RPG. So obviously, you can time blocks and actions as you could in any of the Super Mario RPG games.
Yeah.
The game's balance makes every single encounter a puzzle. So it's not just mindlessly hit the action commands and, do really good on that front, but you also have to think about enemy like strengths, weaknesses. There's a break system very similar to the Bravely series that stun enemies when you hit them.
Yeah.
Long story short, this game feels like a true amalgamation of all the great RPGs of the Super Nintendo era, while also keeping enough of modern trends that RPGs have, grown and developed within the years to honestly perfect the formula. Sea of Stars is a game that I would recommend to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a fan of RPGs or not. It is a very beginner-friendly series, but it also challenges the player and rewards skill. It is just a fantastic experience from start to finish. I have no qualms making this my best game of 2023.
Very interesting game of the years we have. And on one hand, I have Rayman Legends, a 2D platformer from an abandoned series, and you have an RPG based off of Mario RPGs. Very, very interesting. Also, this is a prequel to The Messenger. That's very
yes,
funky.
it is in the same world and universe. It takes place. I think it's 1,000 years before the events of The Messenger.
God, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's not just Super Mario RPG. They also took inspiration from Chrono Trigger. It's basically like every SNES era RPG. They took some bit of inspiration from it.
Very interesting. But yeah, that's our best and worst games that we played this year. A lot of great games. A lot of great games this year. There was a lot of garbage, but there was also a lot of great games this year. Luckily, we didn't play any of the super bad games like Redfall.
Byron and I avoid Redfall, Golem,
Skull Island, Rise of Kong, that new Walking Dead game, the day before.
Honestly, COD, Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, oh god.
We avoided that too, thankfully.
God, that game was a fucking DLC that turned into a full game that should have been DLC.
But for all of the shit shows, the unreleased messes or incomplete messes, stuff like that, we also had a fair bit of masterpieces come our way as well. I'm looking forward to eventually getting a playthrough in of God of War Ragnarok, as well as many other fantastic titles that came out this year.
Yeah.
And like I said, this year, for remasters or remakes in particular, 10 out of 10. They knocked almost every single one of those out the park. Like, cannot give enough praise to these studios. Giving these older classics some love.
Yeah. What a year indeed. What a year indeed. But yeah, that is going to be it for our that'll be it for our best and worst games special. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, honestly, we appreciate you guys supporting our channel. Byron and I have been out to this for 4 years now, which is crazy.
I can't believe we've been doing it for that goddamn long.
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, in the comments below, leave us some of your favorite games of 2023 and some games you're looking forward to in 2024.
Yeah.
And, hit us with some lowlights too. What was great? What was terrible this year?
Yeah, give us the games that you played this year that were great. Give us your favorite games that came out this year, least favorite games, all that good stuff.
But anyways, this has been Slade.
And this has been Byron. Hope you all have a good day, good night, and goodbye.